Oh, okay.
I think that's better, honestly.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, so this is a pencil drawing, right? So what we want to do is get the darkest darks to be black and the paper to white, basically, or as close to white as we can. And I'm going to use a levels adjustment layer, right? And you can use one of these eyedropper icons here. So if I choose the black eyedropper, whatever I eyedrop is going to become the black point. Okay, so let's say I want to do like here, right? That made that black, but it also changed the rest of the image. So now I want to set the white point, right? Maybe it's here, maybe it's, I can click around a little bit and I can come back in here to lighten that even more. So you can play around with the highlights, the midtones, and the darks. So that looks okay, right? So if I turn this off, you'll see the original, right? So this is much better, and I'm going to group this, and I'll call this original. Okay, and the way I did it this way is so that I can always come back and change the adjustment settings, right? You could just select that layer and do image adjustments to it, but then you've changed it, right? So this way you can always come back and readjust, right? So if you wanted to make it even more high contrast, you can. Okay. So that's step one, is kind of setting the black and white points. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do select all. All right, I'm going to select the entire image, and I'm going to copy what it appears to be, right? So if I just hit copy right now, it's going to copy one of these layers, right? So if I have this layer selected and I hit copy, right, and I paste it, I'll just paste it in a new document. I've copied the original, right? And if I have this selected and I hit copy, I've copied nothing, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do select all, and I'm going to do this thing called copy merged, or it's Shift Command C. So that is going to copy it as if you flatten the image, and then you copy. Okay, so I'm gonna copy merged, and I can show you when you paste it. It pastes as if you combine the layers before you copy. Okay. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to here. There's a tab called Channels. Have you guys worked with alpha channels before? Yeah? No? Okay. So these are, you're basically making a silkscreen stencil. You guys have done silkscreen before? Okay. So I'm going to make a new layer. It's blank, or it's completely black. And what this, so it's called Alpha 1, right? You can see it says Alpha 1. Alpha in digital imaging speak is transparency. So this is a transparency layer that I'm going to use. And just like a silkscreen, you know how like in a silkscreen, there's when you put an image on the silkscreen, there's what you see as the image on the screen is actually blocking the ink from passing through, right? So that's the same thing that's going on here. So anything that's black is blocking the ink, and anything that's white is gonna let ink through. And the cool thing is anything in between does something in between, right? So like a 50% gray pixel is going to let 50% of the ink through. Okay, so let me just show you what that. So I'm going to paste Jacob's image in here, and then I'm going to invert it. Okay, so I'm going to go to image, adjustments, invert. Okay, so now this is like my silk screen, right? So if I go and I can use this now to make basically a silk screen of Jacob's line work. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this into here, okay, and that turns it into a selection. Do you guys see the marching ants? Okay. So now I'm going to go back to my layers, and I'm going to click on it so that I'm back in kind of layers land. I'm going to make two layers. Actually, I'm gonna first, this is going to be white, and this is going to be line art, okay? So white, I'm just going to fill it with white. So that is fill, and I'm going to fill it with my background color, which is white, right? My background color right now is white. Okay, so now this is white. I'm going to go to my line art layer. I'm going to go back to my alpha channel, drag it. See the selection there? Okay, so now I set my foreground color now to black, right? I can go and I'm on the line art layer, and I can do fill, this time with foreground color. Okay. So that's, now I've got Jacob's line art here. I mean, so right now it looks the same, right? But the important thing is, this is only the blacks, right? So anything that's white is actually transparent, okay? So what, the way that you can see that would be, I'm going to create a new layer, and I'll call it colors, okay? So now, if hang on, is this? Okay, it's in color mode, so I'm going to select a color. Let me choose a brush. Zoom in, right? So now so I'm on the colors layer. I've got a color. Now if I color it, it goes behind the line art, right? So if I go to the line art layer, I can move it around, and it's separate. Okay. The other cool thing. So this is color, and you can kind of do different methods of coloring, right? Like you can just manually color it like this, right? Or the way that I colored these guys, right, was I used magic wand, right? So that kind of created that selected the image, right? And what I do actually is I expand the selection by a couple of pixels. By like 2 pixels, let's say. Right, so that expands my selection to make sure that it goes under the blacks. Yeah? And then you fill it, right? Okay? So let me show you what it looks like if you don't do that. So if you don't expand it, well, it's kind of hard to see, I guess. So that's kind of the edge that you get. But if I do this with the expansion, you get kind of a little bit more of a kind of a smoother transition, right? Any questions on that? The cool thing about this as well is if I come up here and I lock the transparency of my line art, right? I can come in and I can actually change the color of the line art layer entirely, right? I can even do things like add transparent or add gradients to it. Let's make that a little lighter. So you might have seen things like this that like people kind of put a little bit of a lighting effect on the line art, which if you combine it with the way that you color it can actually make it feel even more kind of a light effect on there. But you can do things like, so let's say Jacob wants to color code the speech bubbles. You can do that as well, right? You would have to go back, come back in and fill this in a bit, but that's how you would do coloring on that. Cool. Yeah? Did you get that?
Yes.
Okay.